Hey everyone, today we are going to solve first Geeks for Geeks problem, which is a palindrome number. So first we will discuss what is the problem about. The problem is all about check if the binary representation of a number is palindrome or not. What that means is that we are given with a string of numbers. We have to first convert it to in binary representation of that number, and then we will see that the binary representation of that specific number is a palindrome or not. Palindrome is a number if we read from the left, and if we read from the right, it is same. I hope that is clear. You can consider an example like 17 is our input. Okay, I will take laser. 17 is our input. We first have to convert into the binary representation. This is the binary representation of 17. Now you can see if we read it from the leftward, it goes like 1, 000 and 1. If we read it from the right, it is 1 0001. So basically it is a palindrome number. Okay, to solve this issue or problem, we have two approaches. First approach is to solve this with using without built-in function, and next is with using built-in function. Built-in function, like we can convert the input string directly to the binary representation of that string, or we can manually convert or configure how we can convert the input string into its binary representation using some for loops and conditions and increments like that. So first we will discuss without using built-in function. So let's get started with the without built-in function. For that I will open a new. Okay, so first approach is without built-in function. Without built-in functions. Okay, so let's bring it down a little bit. So first of all, we will be given a string. Let's name it as n. Okay, so this can be anything. For our example, we will consider 70. Okay, next we have to convert it into its binary representation. For that purpose, first we will check if the number is 0. If the number is 0, you know that the representation of 0 is also 0, so we will return 0. First we will check if the input is 0, we will return 0. Next we will check if the number is greater than 0. Great, we have to convert that into the binary representation. For that purpose, I will take a loop, and in the loop I will store a remainder. Let's name it as r, or you can name it as anything you want. So first of all, I will divide 17 by 2, or 17 modulus 2. This will give me the remainder of the by dividing 17 by 2. So that remainder I will store in r. Let's do that. 17 divided by 2. Okay, before solving it, I can let me show you what I will do afterwards. First we will take the remainder of that and we will store in a variable. Next we will insert that remainder in a string, and string may be, first of all we have an empty string. We will insert the remainder at the 0 index of the string, which can be 1 or 0, whatever. We will figure out what we have to store in that string. And next we will divide that the total number, which is 17, by 2 to get the next figure of the number. I hope that is a bit confusing, but let's start with the first step number 1. First we will take a remainder of 17 by 2. Okay, so if we take, it is 2 8 the 16 and 1 is remaining. So we have currently 1 in remainder. Okay, next we will store this remainder in a binary, in a string. Let's name it. First of all, we have an empty string. We can now put the remainder at the 0 index of the string. So this is our new string. Okay, this is the 0 index. Next we will divide the 17 by 2, okay, to get the next iteration, or to get the next number. For that purpose, I will do again 17 by 2, and it gives me again 16 and 1. This time we are dividing, not taking modulus, so we will have 8 as our output. So I will store or I will just simply give it to n, assigned to n. So this basically means that when we are using a loop, we must have a termination condition. So in this condition, I have this termination condition. Every time in the iteration, first of all, we will find the remainder of that element. We will store it in a variable. Next, we will insert that element at the 0 index of the string. And next, we will divide the number by 2. So until the number is greater than 0. So we now have 8 in our n. In the next iteration, when I is n is equal to 8, we will do that again. First we will find the remainder. Next we will insert, or you can say concat. We will insert that number, and third we will again divide the number by 2. Okay, so first let's find the remainder. If we divide 8 by 2, it gives us 2 for the 8, and it gives us 0. So in the remainder will be equal to 0. Next, our task is to insert that 0 in a string. For that purpose, our currently string is this containing 1, which is a 0 index. So now we want to insert the current remainder at the 0 index of the string. So it will look like something like this: 0, 1, and this. So this is our new index or string. Okay, next we have to divide the number that we currently have, it is 8, by 2, and it will give us, if we divide that, and it will give us 4. Okay, we are dividing, not taking modulus, so we will have 4 in n. Next, in the iteration, we will check first if n is greater than 1. Yes, it is greater than 1, and our n is currently 4. Okay, first we will again find the remainder. Second, we will insert that the remainder in the 0 index of the string, and third we will again divide that number. So first let's find the remainder. 2 by 2 gives us 0, so we will be 0 in the remainder, and next we will insert that. So first of all, what is our string was? It was 0, 1. Okay, so first of all it is 0, 1. If we insert that current remainder in the existing string, it would be something like this: 0, 0, 1. Okay, I have inserted this 0 at the 0 index of the string. Next we will divide again n by 4 or n by 2. So if we divide n by 2, this just simply means that to divide the number by 2 and assign to n. It is a short form of writing like this. Okay, so this is also done. If we divide that number, we will be, the output of the divide will be 2. So in the next iteration, n will be 2, and it is greater than 1. So we can now finally go into the loop. First of all, again the same things that we are doing. Remainder, find the remainder. Okay, so let's find the remainder. 2, 1, the 2, and it gives us 0. So in the remainder, what will be the answer? It will be 0. Next we have to concatenate the existing string, and the existing string is 001, 001. Okay, so it would become something like this: 0, 0, 0, and 1. So our current string is this. Next, we again have to divide the number, which I have done over here, but this time we will take the quotient. So what it is 1. We will store that into the n. Next we will check. Sorry, here I have done a mistake, that we have to check that on every iteration if the given input is greater than 0. Okay, here we will check if the greater input is greater than 0, and here we will also check. Okay, next we have 1. In the next iteration, we have n is equal to 1, and it is greater than 0. So we will enter in the loop. In the loop, we will do again the 3 steps. What are they? First, we will find the remainder by 2. Next, we will insert the remainder into a string, and our existing string is 0001, 0001. And next, we will divide the number by 2. Okay, so let's find the remainder. First of all, we have 1 inside and 2 outside. 2, 0, the 0. Okay, so what will be remainder? It will be 1. we will store 1, and we will insert. After inserting the remainder into the string of at index 0, we will have something like this, 10001. Next we will divide the number. What we have, it is 0. If we divide n divided by 2, if we divide something like this, it would still give us 0. Okay, so in the next iteration we have n is equal to 0, and that is not greater than 0, so the termination condition would met and the loop will end. And next we have the binary number converted to that. So the representation of 17 we have is 10001. Okay, so this was the method to convert this input string into its binary equivalent. Now we have to check whether it is a palindrome or not. For that purpose, we will again take a loop and we will go through like this. I will take a variable, let's say it as left, and it will track, basically it will keep track of the left of the string, and a right variable which will keep the track of the right of the string. And every iteration we will check if the string of left is equal to string of right. If it is equal, then proceed because it is a palindrome number. If it is not equal, then we will break the loop and we will return false, indicating that the palindrome is not a, that the input string is not a palindrome. In each iteration we will move first check, and then if it is a palindrome, then we will move the left pointer to the middle of the string, and we will decrement the right pointer to, in order to move right to the middle of the string. So we will increment left and we will decrement right in every iteration. I hope that is clear. That was the basic explanation of how to convert existing string or input string into its binary representation, and then to check if it is the palindrome or not. So let's get back to the coding section and try to implement this approach. Okay, so here I am in the coding section. Let's start coding. Okay, so first of all, I will remove this comment. Next, I have to take a binary, or I will take a object of string builder. Basically in Java, string builder is used to build strings, construct string, manipulate string, add or remove string. For that purpose, I will take string builder and I will name it as binary. And let's make a new string builder. So that's it. Next, I have said that we will check if the number is greater than 0. To handle that, we will check if the input is greater than 0, equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, just return this one, because the representation of 0 in binary is 0. Next, our main code starts from here. So let's run a while loop. And this loop will run until the n is greater than 0. Okay. Next, we will take the remainder of n by 2 and we will store that in a variable. Let's name it is remainder, int remainder. I will take n modulus 2. Okay. So now we have the remainder. If you remember, the first step was to take the remainder of n by 2. Next, the step was to insert that remainder at the 0 index of the string. Okay, so for that I will take binary, and the string builder object binary basically provides us a lot of method, and the method we will be using, it will be insert. This basically insert, it takes two parameters: 0, the index where we want to insert the thing, next the value which we want to insert. In my case, I want to add there a remainder, so that's it. Okay, so our first step is done, our second step is done, and the next step and the third step comes that we have to decrement or increment or whatever we want is a termination condition that will basically decrements the n so it can be terminated the loop. Okay, so for that we have discussed that we will divide the number by 2 on the end of each iteration. You can also write this, and the shorthand for this is basically n divided by 2. You can use both of them or just one of them. It's the best practice to use shorthands because it saves times. Okay, so if the conditions goes through correctly at after the while loop, is completed, we will return the string that we have built using the string builder and the code we have written. At the end, we will return binary. Now we have to use a method that is binary to string. We have to use to string method because binary is object of string builder and it returns a object, not the string. So we have to convert that object first to string and then we will return that. So this is done. Uh, Here we can do another thing. We can name as a method that will help in us in the main code. Public static, it will return a string, and let's name it as to binary, and it will take a input and n, or you can say long n. Okay. Next I will paste that code over here. Okay, so this is our helper function, and this will be the function where we will write the main code. Okay, so we have a string that we can convert into binary successfully. Next we will check if the converted binary is a palindrome or not. For that purpose, first we will store that binary representation of the number in a variable. Let's call it binary, and we will call that method and we will send that into that method. Okay, so that's it. Next, here comes the main thing. Now let's check the string is a palindrome or not. For that purpose, I have discussed that we will take two variables. First will be left, that will indicate to the left of the string, and next will be a right variable that will points to the right of the string or the end of the string. For that, I will take int left is equal to 0. Okay, int right is equal to the, as I have to take the length of the string. So for that purpose, we will utilize a built-in function that is basically binary dot length. It gives us the length of the string and we will minus one from it, because in Dart language in Java, the indexes of the string and arrays start from 0 and it goes on like 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 like this. So 1 is at the 0 index and 0 is at the 1 index and so on. So the total indexes we have 0 to 1 2 3 and 4. We have indexes 0 to 4. The length of the string would be 5, so we have to minus 1 from the length to get the last index of the string. I hope that is clear. So that's it for the declaration. Next we will run a while loop and it will run until the left is smaller than the right. It basically means that we have reached the middle of the string. Okay, so first we will check if the, as I have discussed, that we will check at in every iteration that the string of left is equal to the string of right. If it is, then proceed. If it is not equal, then we have to return from the function. So we will do the return from the function method for condition first. Next we will do the rest of this. So we will check binary. Next we will utilize our built-in function that is char@. It basically gives the, returns the past index of the binary of a string. I will pass left because we have to compare the left of the string to the right of the string is not equal to binary dot char at right. If they are not equal, means that the our converted binary is not a palindrome. So we will return from the function return false. Okay. So next we have to check that if it is, then the iteration should move on. So for that purpose, we can do a else condition or just write it like this, left plus plus. We have to move the left pointer to the right, to the middle of the string, and we have to move the right pointer to the middle of the string. For that, I will write right minus minus. After the loop, we have to return true, because if the binary was not a palindrome, the function will be written from here, because if it is, then it will return from here. I hope that is clear. Now let's try to compile and run. Why it is slow from lead code? Okay, so here we have error. Okay, why we are having an error? Let's see. Okay, first of all, we have an error at line number 36. Here we have an error. Or we can pass int. Let's try to run it again. Okay, so same error. Possibly loosely converted from long to int. Incompatible boolean cannot be converted to long, return false. Okay. I get it, I get it. Okay, so we have to return like if it is a palindrome, return 0. If it not a palindrome, return 0. If it is a palindrome, return 1. So here we will, now let's try to compile it. Okay. Incompatible type loosely conversion from long to int. Here we also have to take long. Okay, so our code is accepted. Now we can finally submit the code. Okay, so we have solved this problem without using built-in function. Now it's time to move on to the next approach. We will be using built-in function that will help in to convert the input long number to its binary representation. So let's see how we can do that. I will just remove this function from here and I will write integer. This is a built-in class that provides us a lot of method, but our concern is only with this method to binary string, and we have to pass the number to this. So let's try to compile and run this code. Okay, so we have an error at line number 29. I see. As we are receiving a type of long n, so we have to use a long class. Now let's try to run again. Okay, so our code has been compiled and successfully run. Now I want to show you another thing. You can use integer over here and you can convert this to int explicitly, and I will use int as this. Now let's try to compile and run this again. Now we can finally submit the code. So that's it for the video. We have seen how to solve this problem with two approaches. First is with using without built-in function, and next is with using built-in function. I hope you have learned something new. Thank you for watching.